Money doesn't build itself. Your daily habits do, usually in the messiest way possible. 1. The autopilot saver habit. When you trick yourself into getting rich. There's a hilarious glitch in the human brain. We swear we'll save money manually, yet every time payday arrives, our rational mind suddenly evaporates, replaced by a gremlin whispering, "Treat yourself, king." That's why wealthy people don't rely on willpower. They automate everything like they're outsourcing self-control to a robot that never sleeps, complains, or impulse buys iced coffee. The habit is simple. Pay yourself before life gets the chance to rob you. Imagine your checking account as a nightclub. The moment your paycheck enters, rent, bills, and impulse purchases start dragging it toward the VIP exit. But if you route 10 and 20% straight into investments or savings the second it hits, you've locked that money in a panic room before chaos begins. Picture a friend who says, "I'll save whatever's left at the end of the month." Now picture them saving zero every month. That's the entire joke. Automated transfers turn saving from a decision into a default. And the richest people understand this. Your wallet behaves best when you stop giving it choices. The punchline? Every rich person automates saving because it protects them from the worst financial enemy imaginable, their own brain. 2. The no luxury until Friday rule. How rich people dodge daily financial sabotage. Most people think wealth comes from huge wins, giant salaries, miracle investments, or some crypto bro whispering market secrets while vaping peach mango mist. But the truth is so painfully boring, it almost feels insulting. Wealth is built by avoiding tiny, stupid daily expenses that snowball like an angry avalanche. Enter the habit rich people swear by, delaying unnecessary spending by 48 hours. It sounds mild, but it's psychological warfare. Imagine you see a $90 hoodie you need. Emotional brain says, yes. Logical brain says, stop embarrassing us. The 48-hour delay forces both into a cage match. And here's the plot twist. After 2 days, 80% of impulses die like abandoned Tamagotchis. Wealthy people are not immune to dumb purchases. They're just professionals at letting the urge expire. Example, instead of ordering takeout because you deserve it, you wait until Friday. By then, you realize you didn't deserve it. You were just tired. And tired people make terrible financial decisions. This habit builds wealth because it kills the purchases you'd regret next Tuesday. Punchline? Rich people don't have more discipline. They just give their stupidity a mandatory cooling-off period. 3. The boredom-proof budget. Because normal budgets die faster than New Year's resolutions. Here's the problem with traditional budgeting. It relies on you being a responsible adult, which, let's be honest, is not a stable system. Regular budgets break the moment you get bored, stressed, sad, hungry, or within a 500-meter radius of a Starbucks. Wealthy people know this, so they use a different habit. They build budgets designed for their own stupidity. A boredom-proof budget has only 3 categories: must pay, might pay, and don't even think about it. That's it. No spreadsheets that look like NASA mission briefs, no 27 subcategories for groceries, just a blunt system that removes the loopholes your brain loves to exploit. Example, must pay covers rent, bills, savings, investments, non-negotiables. Might pay is flexible, eating out, random fun, the occasional emotional support pizza. Don't even think about it includes everything else. Late-night Amazon dives, retail therapy sessions, and that useless gadget TikTok convinced you will change your life. The magic is brutal simplicity. When you cut complexity, your brain stops finding excuses. The punchline? Rich people don't budget better, they budget in ways that prevent themselves from escaping their own rules. 4. The no new debt ever protocol. Because interest is a silent serial killer. You know what wealthy people fear more than recessions, taxes, and pyramid scheme cousins? New debt, not existing debt. They'll pay that off strategically. I mean the new, fresh, shiny debt your wallet tries to adopt every time life gets slightly inconvenient. The habit is simple. Unless it's an investment that grows in value or increases earning potential, the answer is no. No new car loans, no upgraded phones. Because this model takes better photos, no vacations financed by Visa. Wealthy people treat debt the way normal people treat mushrooms growing out of a wall, a horrifying sign something has gone very wrong. Example, That friend who buys a brand new $30,000 car on a 7-year loan because the monthly payment fits the budget. Meanwhile, the car depreciates like it's sprinting towards zero value. Meanwhile, a wealthy person buys a used car, saves the difference, invests it, and lets compound interest laugh in the background. This habit builds wealth because it protects the one resource poor people bleed faster than cash: future income. Punchline: rich people don't avoid debt to look smart. They avoid it because debt is the ultimate wealth vampire. 5. The invest first, overthink later habit. The cure for analysis paralysis. Poverty: poor people wait until they understand everything before investing, which is adorable because nobody fully understands the market. Not even the people on CNBC wearing expensive suits and confidently guessing for a living. Wealthy people use a different rule: invest small, invest early, invest consistently, and learn as you go. This habit destroys the ultimate wealth killer: decision paralysis. Picture someone wanting to invest, but spending 6 months reading articles, watching videos, comparing ETFs, Googling, "Is investing safe?" Then panicking because the S&P dropped 1% and deciding, maybe next month. Meanwhile, someone else quietly auto-invests $200 a week and ends up wealthier than the guy who researched himself into poverty. The wealthy understand the core truth: time in the market beats flawless timing. They let compound interest do the heavy lifting while they make small adjustments over time. The punchline: rich people don't know more. They just start sooner. 6. The skill upgrade obsession. The richest people treat skills like printing money. Here's the underrated wealth habit nobody wants to hear because it requires effort. Rich people constantly upgrade their skills like they're patching bugs in their personal software. The average broke person complains their paycheck is too small. A wealthy person upgrades the reason the paycheck exists. This habit is simple. Every month, learn something that makes you harder to replace and easier to pay more. Coding, design, sales, negotiation, AI tools, anything that increases earning potential gets priority. Example: someone spends 3 hours a night scrolling TikTok, convincing themselves it's relaxing. Meanwhile, someone else spends those 3 hours learning a skill that raises their income by $10K a year. That's passive income disguised as work ethic. Wealthy people know skills are the only asset nobody can tax, steal, or suddenly crash like crypto at 3 a.m. Punchline: rich people don't chase raises, they chase upgrades that force raises to chase them. 7. The friction-free environment rule. Make doing the right thing easier than the wrong thing. Habits don't stick because you're weak, they fail because your environment is built for failure. Wealthy people fix this by designing surroundings that make good decisions automatic. They create financial systems so clean and low friction that even their lazy days build wealth. Example: they delete food delivery apps so they stop paying $38 for a sandwich and a feeling of regret. They freeze credit cards, literally, in a cup of ice. They place investment apps on the home screen and hide shopping apps in folders named Stop It. They keep their checking account intentionally empty so they physically can't overspend. A wealthy person's environment is basically a booby-trapped maze where the only easy path leads to better financial outcomes. Meanwhile, broke people keep temptation in arm's reach and call it convenience. Punchline: rich people aren't more disciplined. They're just smart enough to know they shouldn't rely on discipline at all. 8. The buy the best once rule. Because the cheap option is the most expensive lie. Here's a wealth habit that feels counterintuitive until you've lived long enough to regret every $29 gadget that broke after 2 weeks. Rich people buy high-quality items once instead of replacing cheap trash endlessly. This isn't luxury, it's math disguised as snobbery. The poor mindset says, "I'll save money by buying the cheaper version." The wealthy mindset says, "I'll save money by not buying this 5 times." Example: someone buys a $40 pair of shoes every 6 months because it's affordable, while a wealthy person buys a $180 pair that lasts 5 years. Guess who spends more? Spoiler: it's always the bargain hunter who thinks they're being clever. The same applies to tools, appliances, laptops, clothes, anything that either upgrades your life or breaks at the worst possible moment. Wealthy people treat durable goods like investments in long-term sanity. The punchline: poor people keep buying the same problem. Wealthy people buy the solution once. 9. The stay boring to get rich investment philosophy. Because excitement is the enemy. You ever notice how broke people love exciting investments? The stuff with flashing lights, hype, promises of revolution, and influencers shouting, "To the moon." Meanwhile, wealthy people are quietly shoveling money into index funds, bonds, and boring assets that grow like slow, unstoppable moss. The habit is simple. Wealthy people avoid anything that requires luck, timing, or hope. They avoid hot tips, avoid frantic trading, avoid emotional roller coasters disguised as financial strategies. They pick a proven plan and let the calendar, not adrenaline, make them rich. Example: someone YOLOs into a meme coin, checks the price every 11 seconds, has 3 panic attacks, and ends up selling for a loss. Meanwhile, someone else invests in the S&P 500, checks it twice a year, and gets richer in silence. The punchline? Wealth is built in boredom. If your investments make your heart race, you're not investing, you're gambling. 10. The no flamethrower lifestyle inflation rule. Stop upgraded life from burning your future. Here's a wealth habit almost nobody masters. When their income increases, wealthy people don't immediately set their money on fire, upgrading everything in their life. Lifestyle inflation is the ultimate silent thief. It sneaks in every raise, every bonus, every promotion, whispering, "You can afford nicer things now." But wealthy people pause and remember one truth: you stay rich by living like you're not. Example: the moment someone gets a raise, they upgrade their car, move to a better apartment, start ordering artisanal brunch with eggs that cost more than minimum wage, and suddenly their new income disappears faster than their old one. Meanwhile, a wealthy person keeps everything the same for 6 to 12 months and invests the difference. That gap becomes wealth. That wealth becomes freedom. And that freedom is worth more than any leather seats, avocado toast, or luxury-scented candle. Punchline? Lifestyle inflation is why most people don't get rich. They keep raising the floor under themselves until they can't stand up. 11. The network like your net worth depends on it. Habit. Because it does. Here's a wealth habit nobody teaches in school. Rich people treat relationships like assets, not in a creepy transactional way, more like knowing that the fastest way to grow is through people who are already where you want to be. Wealthy people surround themselves with high-earning, high-standard, high-accountability individuals because environment dictates outcome. Broke people hang out with complainers, excuse-makers, and someday dreamers who treat ambition like a personality defect. Example: you can spend 3 years trying to figure out how to start a business, or you can talk to one person who's already done it and compress that learning into one conversation. Wealthy people know proximity is profit. The right circle upgrades your mindset, your habits, and your opportunities. The punchline? Show me your group chat, and I'll show you your financial future. 12. The never let money sit around bored rule. Because idle cash is lazy cash. Here's a truth wealthy people live by. Money should always have a job. If it's sitting in a checking account doing nothing, that's not safety. That's wasted potential. The rich treat their cash like employees. If it's not working, it's fired. They keep only what they need for emergencies and short-term plans, and the rest is deployed into investments that generate more money. Example: someone lets $15,000 sit in a bank account earning 0.01% interest because it feels safer. Meanwhile, inflation quietly slices that money into smaller and smaller pieces, like a slow-motion robbery. A wealthy person takes that same money and invests it in index funds, real estate, or their own business. Anything that beats inflation and compounds over time. The habit isn't risky, it's strategic. The punchline? Money that sits still gets smaller. Money that moves gets bigger. 13. The treat future you like a real person habit. Because most people treat their future self like a scapegoat. Here's a wealth habit almost nobody practices. Wealthy people make decisions with their future self in the room. Not metaphorically, mentally. Before spending, they ask, "Will future me thank me or sue me?" Because broke people treat future them like some magical creature who will somehow be smarter, richer, and more responsible, despite present them behaving like a caffeinated toddler with a debit card. Wealthy people understand the opposite. Future you is just present you, but older, more tired, and probably still paying for your mistakes. So they build systems to protect that person, Long-term investments, retirement accounts, insurance, estate planning, savings buffers, all the boring adult stuff people avoid until it's too late. Example, someone says, "I'll start saving for retirement next year." Next year turns into 17 years, 2 market crashes, 3 job changes, and a midlife crisis powered by regret. Meanwhile, someone else starts early, with tiny contributions, lets time do its magic, and retires without panicking at 3 a.m. The punchline? Rich people don't trust their future selves, they protect them in advance. 14. The 2-option life rule. Build a life where you never have to say yes out of desperation. Here's the final wealth habit, and the most powerful one. Wealthy people structure their lives so they always have at least 2 good options. Not 10, not 100, just 2. 2 income streams, 2 ways to earn money, 2 escape routes, 2 backup plans. Because desperation is expensive. When you only have one option, a single job, a single income, a single plan, you're trapped. You stay in toxic workplaces. You accept terrible deals. You say yes to things that drain your time, your sanity, and your bank account. Wealthy people avoid this by building optionality, side skills, side money, side opportunities. They give themselves leverage. Example, someone with no savings and no backup income gets treated terribly at work, but can't leave because bills are holding them hostage. But someone with savings, investments, and a side skill can walk away the moment the job becomes disrespectful. That freedom is wealth. The punchline? The richest people aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones with the most options. So tell me, which habit you're still ignoring is quietly wrecking your future?